So there's people out there that know about the Anunnaki, and they've been prophesying about them coming, and they're also saying that they're aliens. But the difference about the Anunnaki aliens is that these Anunnaki aliens are supposed to be black people. And then the reptilians, of course, they're reptile-looking aliens. So who it is that's going to get off the ship, that's still yet to be determined, because there's different people saying, you know, some people are saying, well, these are black aliens coming, and the other people are saying, well, these are reptilians coming. So we got to wait to see exactly who is going to get off of this ship. And if it's black aliens, we know that we got it good. You know what I'm saying? As a people, we got it good. These black aliens are coming, and they are the prototype of all creation, where human beings came from, where the missing link came from, human evolution, Darwinism, religion, spirituality. That's where all of that came from, was them. So, you know, that's a good thing. If it's the Anunnaki, it's going to be more of a war with the government, but it's still going to be war. If it's reptilians, it's still going to be war with the government, even though the government is going to be in league with them. And that's just the same thing they did with the Greys during the Truman administration. They made a treaty with the Greys so they could abduct a certain amount of people in return for.
You're going interchangeably with Anunnaki, Greys, reptilians, and it's like each one of them got a different. And we, you know, I don't know which to switch to be distinct. You know what I'm saying? Because you kind of conflate them where you calling each one of them in a different way about doing a different thing, but then some of them doing the same thing. So what I'm saying, I don't know. I can't speak about it. I don't know.
Well, I'll explain the difference.
Okay.
Okay, the differences between the Anunnaki, the reptilian, and the Greys is that at the top of the hierarchy of those angels, the Anunnaki have the most power and sovereignty in the universe, or the multiverse for that matter. They were the ones that created the multiverse. That's just a overarching reality of multidimensionality, what the multiverse is. They created that from the original Big Bang. The original Big Bang is what caused, and it was a series of bangs. These Big Bangs is what caused creation to take place and expand, and all this is what they're saying is the theory of Darwinism. But Darwinism picks up on a scientific hypothesis that's posed by early human beings about their creation, which was the Sumerians. They were the ones that were hypothesizing that human beings evoluted out of the water from germs being put in the water by the Anunnaki. So where we get God in creation and where human beings came from, and they made them in their image, and this is what the beginning of Genesis is showing you about the Anunnaki beings. These beings are the black extraterrestrials that we, as the original Alkebulanans, the beings that lived in Alkebulan, the original Africa, which also had the original Israel attached to it before they created the Suez Canal that broke Israel from Eastern Africa, Northeast Africa is where Israel originally was attached to Africa. So that shows you that the original Israelites or Jerusalem inhabitants were black people, or the Alkebulanians, which is the original, before it was called African, before it was called Hamite, before it was called Nubian, before it was called Nuba, it was called Ashkebulan, and then it's called Alkebulan. So these beings, they created that system of creation and philosophy and spiritualism that was what the inhabitants of ancient Africa, before it was called Africa, the inhabitants of that land, which were us, our people, like that's written down in Genesis, going from Genesis all the way into like the time of Noah. And then that's where it starts to break off into different sects of people. So the Anunnaki are the original, who we in the Bible call the Elohim, or the angels that are up under the one Most High God we call Father, or Abba, which is really Anu, or Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that the Muslims call him, or Yahweh, or Eliyahuah, the Most High God. This is what these beings, they had all of that lineage and all of that history incorporated into their genealogy, where they came from. So then you got like reptilians. Reptilians are a subspecies that came forth after millions of years of germination in the heavens, in the galactic heavens. And they also populate as part of the night skies that they call Dracos, or the Dracos constellation. This is where they come from. They come here also. And they were coming here during the time of the ancient Mayans, the Aztecs, and also the early Native American tribes of America. So this is where they get that these beings are supposed to be coming back. That's where the Popol Vuh book comes from Lord Pakal Votan, who was a king of the Mayans. He wrote that book about the return of the reptilians. So that's another thesis, hypothesis, theory about who the extraterrestrials will be when they do show up. So it will either be reptilians, and now the Greys is just a common extraterrestrial. Whenever they say alien, this is the first thing that pops in most people's mind when they think of what an alien is a big bulbous-headed gray short being with almond-shaped eyes, with a little slit as a mouth and little two little holes as a nose, with elongated arms and usually 5 fingers, but sometimes 3 fingers, 4 feet tall, humongously and intensely superior in knowledge and human intellect. So this is what the Greys would be. They are more of the scientist beings. And there's prophecies about them returning too, as Elijah Muhammad was talking about. These beings that wielded the mothership up into the air, and they piloted the mothership and have smaller bomber planes that come out of it and explode up to the heights of mountains. These were the Greys. That's what he was talking about. That is a part of the prophecy of the return. But they're wielding in and also heralding in the return of the Anunnaki, because they are surveyors that come before Anunnaki beings come to any planet. The Greys come here heavily. and they just basically survey the land and do a lot of surveying as to what is going on this particular planet, the politics of it, the language of it. If it's different languages, they map out all of that before the Anunnaki get here. So they're due to return before the Anunnaki, and they've already returned. The Greys have been coming here since 47. I mean, here more recently. They've been coming here all along, but I'm saying as far as our record of them coming in, even in connection to the United States and what they say the Greys did or how they're in cahoots with the government, it's all been since the Roswell crash.